to my channel. Today I'll be talking about a day in my life with anxiety. So how it feels in different situations basically. So I hope you guys liked my previous video about what helps me with anxiety. So yeah, today we're just gonna talk about a day in the life of my life with anxiety. Anxiety doesn't always look obvious. It shows up in like small moments. Um, I can be fine, for a few minutes, and then I just start feeling it. And the first place I feel it is in my chest. Like my heart starts to race and I just get like a tightness in my chest. That's where I feel it first. So I'm gonna walk through a day, like a normal day of mine, and show you and try to explain to you guys how it feels like. I haven't really talked about very specific experiences yet. I probably have more generally, but today's gonna be about how it feels like to experience those situations. So yeah, that's what the video is gonna be. I'm gonna first start with like my mornings, like how my mornings go. Um, it obviously depends what I'm gonna do that day. But let's say going to school, for example. When I wake up, it depends. Like if I have an exam that day, I start feeling my anxiety, and it's mostly because yes, my exam jitters. It's normal. But let's say I have an oral to do that day, I'm a lot more nervous, especially if I'm alone, if it's not like in a group. I have a lot more like, butterflies in my stomach, chest tightening. I feel it a lot more. Even the night before, like especially the night before. Um or honestly, if I know I'm gonna have to go talk to someone, like let's say a professor or someone who in the school, other than a friend, if I know I'm gonna have to talk to someone that day, I know my anxiety is gonna start. I always like in my mind that in the morning, I'm always like going through things that could happen to me that day. Am I gonna be okay? Am I gonna be safe? Who am I gonna talk to? Or even if I know I'm gonna talk to someone, I'm still like, oh my God, is the conversation gonna go okay? Am I gonna meet nice people? How's my day gonna go at school? Like, are people gonna come up to me and try and talk to me? Because I go to university, so it's a lot, there are thousands of people there. And just knowing, just being in an environment of so many people around me, it can be intimidating sometimes. um yeah, and I just try, yeah, it could just be really intimidating. So knowing I have to go there, it just, look, most days I'm okay, but like I said, in those situations where I know I have to go talk to someone, or I have this test, oral, etc., it starts. Leaving the house. Leaving the house is okay. Um, because I, my parents and I, we drive to a location and I take a bus to my school. So that's okay. I feel okay because I know it's just a bus. I'm most likely not going to talk to anyone. It's okay. I'm on my own. And it's a bus just for students and people who work at the school, like staff members and professors. So I'm not nervous, and no one usually talks to anyone. So I'm okay with that. But obviously the first day I took it, I was very nervous because I didn't know what to expect. When I don't know what to expect, that's when my anxiety is at the highest. Yeah, when I get to the bus, I drive. I'm nervous. My nerves, mostly not because they're not because I'm gonna have to talk to someone or something's gonna happen to me, but I'm afraid that, oh, there's traffic. The bus is gonna break down. Something's gonna happen. I'm gonna be late. Obviously, many people go through that, but I go through it like a large extent of my time in the bus is just thinking that, oh my God, is something gonna happen to the bus? Especially if I have an exam that day, like I'm so nervous. Um, yeah, things happen, but like I've been told, you can't control everything, right? We can't control some outcomes, and we can't stress about that, because what happens, and if you can't control it, don't stress about it. So when I get to school, um internally, like what I feel, especially when there's a lot of people around me, in my head, like I feel like I'm in my own bubble, and I just don't want people, like I just, I just walk where I need to go. This class, this building, I just walk. I try not to look at many people, because I feel like if I look at them, it'll be a sign that, oh, I want to talk to you. That's what I think about in my head. Like if I make eye contact with this person, then that means I'm opening myself to talk for a conversation. So I try my best not to look at people. Sometimes I do, but because some days it depends, but how I'm feeling. But usually I usually look down. Like I have a tendency of like looking down when I walk in public, especially if I'm alone, like without a friend or family member. And yeah, so basically I try not to look at people in the eyes. It's gotten better, because when I was young, especially, I had a really difficult time looking people in the eyes, even if I was speaking to them. But now it's a bit better. Anyways, so yeah, I just go my way, because I feel like if someone tries to approach me, I'm like, oh my god, what am I gonna say? Like in my head, I'm like, oh my god, if I can tell someone's approaching me, I'm like, oh my god, what am I gonna say? Am I gonna embarrass myself? What happens if I don't know what to say and something just weird comes out of my mouth? That. Um, that's what I worry about. And it could be very intimidating for me, especially when I'm alone. Let's say in like a school building, and there's a lot of students around. I just feel like it can be intimidating, like I said. I don't know why, but I always feel like I'm being watched, like people around me are watching me, and that's just what I feel. And when people do look at me, like they glance, it's normal. In my head, I'm like, why are they looking at me? Is there something on my face? Do I am I wearing something incorrectly? Like, is there something on me? Why are they looking at me? That's what goes on in my head the moment someone looks at me. And I'm sure, like, it's nothing to be worried about, but when they look at me, that's just what goes on in my head. And like, but right before we get to class, there's a lot of people in the hallway, right, waiting to get in. And I'm just thinking to myself, oh my god, I can't wait to get into the classroom. Like, I just want to get in and go sit down. And I have this tendency, I like sitting at the top or very bottom, but at the edge, like where there's only one person sitting next to me, not on both sides. I don't know, I like that. Especially, I just like, being, I don't like being surrounded by people. And I know, like, if I'm in the corner, I can leave very easily. I don't have to like say, oh, excuse me. So that's what I do as well. Yeah. I'm always, whether I'm at school or at, outside at a store in public, I'm always overthinking how I look. Do I look okay? Does, does my hair look okay? Does it look oily? That's what I think. Like, does it look so oily and ugly? My face too. How does my face look? Do I have like dark under eyes here? Does my face look oily? Do I look okay? Do I look tired? That's what I think about a lot. And sometimes I don't go out because I feel like I look bad. And it hasn't happened. It's only happened a few times, not often. But when it does happen, I realize to myself, like, wow, I'm missing an opportunity to go out because I feel like I'm gonna be judged for my looks, or I don't look good enough. And I also, if I'm, let's say, waiting to speak to a teacher or someone, I always start getting very anxious, like my leg twitches, I get heart palpitations, I start to sweat a lot. I know that it's a safe place. I know the professors are there to help you, but I don't know why I have a really hard time like creating a relationship with them because of my anxiety. And it's really weird because, well, I'll explain this in another video, but when I was in college, now it's different because of where I live. There's like college and university. I'm gonna explain more in my next and maybe my next video or down the line, but just a little snippet. I was much happier there because of how like I had more relationships with people and professors there because I don't know, I maybe because if it was less people, so I felt safer. But anyways, in university, there's a lot of more people. Like I've been in classes of like 600 students, 1,000 students. It's crazy. And you would think you would make a lot of friends in those classes because there's so many people, but I don't know. I feel like it was very difficult for me to make friends in those large classes. Just because I feel like just because there's a lot of people doesn't mean you're gonna necessarily make friends. I usually just like go to school, learn, do my things, and leave. That's my mentality. And I know it may not be the best, but I've always been used to that, and I find it keeps me calm and I'm less anxious that way. Like I like knowing I can go home or I can go see a friend after school or a family member. I just feel more calm. Like it's my safe place when I'm with them or at those places, you know? Um, so yeah. I also, yeah, so like when I'm in public, let's say, yeah, like I said, when I'm waiting, if I'm in public and I'm not talking to anyone in class or like in the school, I mean, like in the hallways, I always have to go on my phone. I know everyone does that, but I'm just saying, like, I don't want to make eye contact with people, so I try to distract myself from my anxiety and from, oh, maybe because I'm busy, people may think, oh, you're on your phone, you're busy with something, they won't talk to you. I do that a lot, and it relaxes me just watching some videos or text. I try and text as many people as I can. Like, hopefully they answer when at that time because it feels very uncomfortable for me. And yeah, so after that, when I get home, let's say that day, let's say I usually come right home, but sometimes I may go to a family member's house, but it's usually, or a friend, but it's usually home, especially when I have a lot of homework or exams to study for. So when I come home, that's when I can finally decompress. Now, I know maybe physically I didn't do much that day, but mentally I did. And I come home feeling exhausted. Like I can have one class and I come home feeling exhausted. I have a headache. I just feel so tired. Like I have no choice, to study, do my homework. I do it, but I'm just so tired and I can't stay up very late. Um, Especially if I've had conversations that day that I feel like maybe didn't go so well or were awkward, in my opinion. Maybe to the other person wasn't, but for me it's awkward. And I always like have, thoughts in my head like, oh my God, did I did I did I say something that I shouldn't have? Did I embarrass myself? Maybe I could have said something else. And it goes through my head for a few days. And sometimes it won't really go through my head until a few days later. Like I still have thoughts about experiences I went through like months ago. And it just happens, and it's really hard to turn off at times, especially when I'm in bed, like trying to go to sleep. That's when a lot of my thoughts just attack me at once because I guess I'm in a quiet environment. I'm not doing anything, and because of that, sometimes it takes me a while to fall asleep because it's just thoughts and thoughts and thoughts about not even the next day, 2 days from then. Like, oh my God, am I gonna be okay tomorrow? Do I have to do this tomorrow? What about my future? Like, it's always in my head when I'm about to go to sleep. So yeah, and during, like I said, I like to distract myself when I'm anxious. I like to work out, I like to watch videos, I like to game. I do all that, and it really does help me in the moment. But obviously when I'm in public, when I'm about to speak to someone, I can't do that. But when I'm with someone like a friend or someone I know, basically, I'm less anxious. Like I can go talk to a professor or someone at the school or someone else, a student. If I'm with someone, it's like that anxiety, it lessens a lot more. Like I'm anxious 1 minute, and then the next minute when a friend comes to meet with me, my anxiety just will relax, and I feel it releasing from my chest. My heart rate slows, and my sweat stops because I have anxiety sweat, so I sweat quite often when I'm anxious, like overly sweat. Anyways, yeah, I feel like I rushed a lot or just said too much, and hopefully I didn't like confuse any of you guys. Um, but yeah, so that's basically my experience in a regular day. Um, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope like you understand that it's, you know, everyone goes through something, you know, you're not alone. Everyone goes, and they may seem okay, but inside, it's inside that they're not. Inside they may feel something. They may not feel okay inside, but just because they look okay outside doesn't mean they are. um I don't know when, but eventually, because I've already, you know, in my previous videos, I think I talked about like, you know, little parts about how my anxiety came to be, well, at least how I think it did. But in the next, maybe not the next video, because it's a bit more personal, when I end up feeling more comfortable, it's gonna be a longer video. Maybe I'll do 2 parts or just make 1 part. Probably 2 parts, depends how long it gets. Like I don't want to speak for an hour and bore you guys. um so I'm going to talk about, you know, how when I think it started, because I was young, um what I think, what I believe it was caused by, not what I think, what I really do believe it was caused by, and just how it started from there. So it's gonna be more personal because I'm gonna talk about, I'm gonna, you know, try, there's some things I'm sure I forgot about when I was younger. Obviously I can't tell you those things because because just a lot of things happened, you know, when I was a child. Like you can't remember every single thing, every single thought, right? I was young. I what if I remember correctly, my anxiety started about 8, 9 years old, and it started at school. So I'm gonna explain all that, huge, you know, huge story, in the future eventually. So yeah, I hope you guys like this video. I hope you guys stick around for this wild ride. If you relate to this, you're not alone. Yeah, I hope you guys, you know, enjoy. I hope you guys enjoy this video. You know, comment if you want anything you guys want, and maybe let me, you know, ask me questions, you know. I can talk to you guys, I can answer some questions maybe on future videos. So okay, anyways, take care guys.